Okay, let's jump into this. We're looking at a community that, honestly, from the outside, looked like a total success story.
Absolutely. I mean, they were noted for their love, their faith,
Mm.
service, impressive growth, really. Their works were actually increasing.
Yeah, high performers by any standard measure.
And that's what makes it so stunning. Because despite all that outward success, they face this incredibly sharp condemnation from Jesus.
It feels like a real shock, doesn't it? The problem wasn't that they weren't doing enough.
Exactly. It wasn't inactivity. The issue was, believe it or not, tolerance. A failure of tolerance.
Let's dig into that paradox a bit.
Yeah.
How does that even happen? How can a community be so active, so, generous and growing, but be spiritually rotten inside?
Well, we call it the paradox of performance. It's like they prioritize the things you can see, the measurable stuff.
The metrics.
Right, the metrics, activity output over the, let's say, the necessary purity, the internal health. The motion looked great, but it was masking this deep internal corruption.
And that corruption was being allowed, permitted.
Actively permitted, yes. It wasn't just slipping by unnoticed.
Okay, but isn't there a tension there? You need some grace, some tolerance for people, right? Otherwise, don't you just end up pushing everyone away, being too rigid?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But the line here is drawn very sharply. The condemnation comes specifically because they tolerated that woman, Jezebel.
Jezebel, a false prophetess.
Correct. This wasn't just about overlooking minor flaws. This was about allowing a specific destructive teaching to take root.
And what was she teaching? What was the actual content?
She was leading people astray by confidently teaching that sin and grace could just coexist, that you didn't really have to choose.
Ah, so it's compromise dressed up as something else, maybe compassion or freedom.
Precisely. Freedom without repentance, grace without the demand for purity. It made things convenient.
How so, practically speaking?
Well, think about their context. Trade guilds were huge in Thyatira. Participation often involved, well, idolatrous feasts, maybe some immorality, things tied to the local economy.
Things that would be hard to avoid if you wanted to get ahead.
Exactly. Jezebel's teaching basically gave people a theological out. You could maintain your standing in the world and feel okay spiritually. No need for costly separation.
And that sounds disturbingly familiar, doesn't it? We see echoes of that today. Confusing acceptance with affirmation, wanting to be welcoming but refusing to draw unnecessary lines.
Yes, calling rebellion authenticity. It's love, sure, but it's love stripped of holiness, which isn't really biblical love at all.
It becomes sentimentality.
It does. And this is the kind of spiritual sickness people like Leonard Ravenhill warned about in the modern church, too.
What was his take on it?
He had this powerful idea that the greatest miracle isn't just saving someone, but taking an unholy person out of an unholy world, making them holy, and then keeping them holy right there in it.
And if the community tolerates compromise,
Then it loses its power to do that. It
Oh.
can't sustain that miracle.
the way Jesus addresses this, the authority, he identifies himself as the Son of God with eyes like a flame of fire. That's intense imagery.
It really is. It's not accidental. It signifies a gaze that pierces right through the superficial stuff, the performance metrics, the hypocrisy.
It burns away the impurities.
And it refuses to just wink at sin or overlook those hidden compromises, no matter how much good work is happening on the surface.
So his fiery gaze exposes the rot that was being tolerated.
Undeniably. You just can't hide that stuff when that kind of scrutiny is applied. Growing numbers won't cut it if the standard is holiness.
So what's the way back? How do they fix this?
It's straightforward, but definitely not easy. Repentance. A conscious turning away.
Meaning they have to decide that the compromised life, the easy path Jezebel offered, actually needs to become bitter to them again. They need to hate the
Right.
sin.
Exactly. Sin has to lose its appeal. And they need to understand that purity isn't weakness. It's actually the foundation for real spiritual authority.
Right. Because the promise to those who hold fast, who don't compromise.
Is power, authority, and this incredible reward symbolized as the morning star. Purity wasn't presented as a limitation. It was the prerequisite for true influence and divine favor.
So wrapping this up for you listening, the big takeaway seems pretty stark.
All the good works in the world, your service, your growth charts, even your expressions of love, they just can't cover up a tolerated compromise at the core.
And true love, the kind demanded here, actually requires boundaries. It insists on holiness. Otherwise, it's just, well, feeling nice.
So if the real test isn't just about what you do, but about what you absolutely refuse to tolerate, maybe the question for you is, What unspoken compromises might be chipping away at your own spiritual vitality right now?